Hi kindergarten, it's Miss Hayden. If you don't remember me, I was with Basic for a little bit. I'm so happy to be with you. I saw that you guys are having a lot of fun with math, and I asked Miss Northcutt and Mrs. Contreras if I could join in. So we're going to do a math lesson today, if that's okay. Make sure that you have a pencil and a paper with you because we're going to need to practice. You also need your math homework in your packet. Don't forget. Are you ready? Okay, let's get started. I have 10 boxes right here. How many stars do I have? I'll give you a minute to think. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 stars. Let's write that down. How many more stars do you think I need to get to 10? Well, if I know I have 10 boxes, right? Let's just count how many we have left. 1, 2, 3, 4. 6 plus 4 equals 10. Great job, you guys. So if I fill in 4, will I have 10 stars? 1, 2, 3, 4. I do. I now have 10 stars. Look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great job. Do you want to do another one? How about smiley faces? How many smiley faces do I have right here? Let's count. 1, 2, 3. If you got 3, you're correct. Let's write that down. How many more smiley faces do you think I need to get to 10? Let's count the empty boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 plus 7 equals 10. Great job. What if I didn't color any boxes? What if I have nothing? Do you know what number we use for nothing? 0, you're right. So how many boxes would I need to put maybe a star or a smiley face in to get to 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 0 plus 10 equals 10. Great job, you guys. Now let's practice our numbers 1 through 20. I wrote some numbers up here and we're going to practice remembering what these numbers are. Do you know what this number is? 8. You're right. Can you say 8? Great job. How about this one? Do you know what this number is? Do you remember? 4. You're right. This one looks a little silly. It just looks like 2 sticks. Do you remember what this one is? You're right. 11. How about this one? I could draw a smiley face in it. Do you remember what this number is? 9. How about this one? This one's a big number. I'll give you a hint. It starts with S. I recognize this one. 7. But it has the stick in front of it. So what's that one? 17. And the last one, this one's a big one. Do you remember? 20, you're right. Go ahead and copy down these 6 numbers so you can practice later with your grown-up. Now let's talk about the days of the week. Do you remember starting with Monday, the days of the week, which order they go in? Think about that song that you sing with your class when you do calendar. Let's start with Monday. What comes next? It starts with a T. Tuesday. Do you remember what's next? Wednesday. There's another one that starts with a T, but does it make the t sound? No, it makes the TH. What day next? Thursday. And my favorite day of the week, Friday. And what 2 days do we say are the weekend? Saturday. And Sunday. Now let's remember our number order. Can you tell me what number comes after 5 if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7? What comes here? 6. You're right. Great job. What comes after 12? Do we remember? 11, 12, 13. You're right. Last one. Tell me what number comes before 8. This one's hard. You might have to think of the numbers before 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, there's the 8. What number came before? 7. You're right. 7, 8, 9. Great job. Now we're going to talk about time. Some activities that you do happen at the same time every single day. I think you start school around 8 o'clock every single day. Do you know what time you go to recess? Doesn't Miss Rebel take you around 10 o'clock to recess? What about lunchtime? I think you go around 12 o'clock, right? And then you go home to see your grown-ups at like 3 o'clock? Or maybe it's 2:40. Maybe you go to church on Sunday at 9 o'clock. You know, the Bible tells us that we need to use our times wisely. It says this in Ephesians 5:16 through 17. Maybe you could read that with a grown-up later. But how do we know how to use our time wisely and what time to go to recess or what time to go home if we don't know what time it is? So we're going to talk about how to tell time. So I brought with me today my little clock. Now, do you see the circle on the clock? And do you see how it has numbers? This circle is called the face of the clock. Can you say face? Yeah, just like our face. And do you see the numbers on the clock? Can you tell me how many numbers are there? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of numbers on the clock. Wow. Now, do you see anything else on my clock? Yeah, I see 2 hands, kind of like our hands. Now, one of them is longer than the other. Do you see? Do you see how the red one is a little bit shorter than the blue one? The blue one is called the minute hand. Do you know why? It's because it's really long and it can reach all the way to the top and it can reach the minutes. There's all of these ticks. Little tick, 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 tick. Exactly. Do you know how many are on the face of the clock? There's 60. That's a lot. Do you know why there's 60? Because there's 60 minutes in 1 hour. And so if we were to go all the way around the clock, it would take us 1 hour. So if you were at 2 o'clock and Mrs. Contreras or Miss Northcutt said we go to see our grown-ups in 1 hour, it would take this minute hand to go all the way around the clock before you could go home. Do you remember why this one is called the minute hand? Because it can reach all the way to the minutes. It's the longer one. What do you think this one tells us? You're right. It tells us the hour. It tells us the hour. So we're going to practice telling time. Now, can you tell me what number is my minute hand on? You're right. It's on the 12. Where is my hour hand? You're right. It's on the 1. Exactly. What time do you think it is? Where is my hour pointing? The 1 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock right now. This is how we write time. We have 1 and we have our 2 dots and 2 zeros. 1 o'clock. Can you write that on your paper? Great job. Everybody say 1 o'clock. Excellent. Now, I'm going to move my clock. Can you tell me what time it is now? Remember, where is my hour hand pointing? You're right. It's 2 o'clock. Will you write it with me? 2 o'clock. Great. Now I want to tell you a story, and I need you to help me fix my clock to tell me what time it is. Mrs. Brown has breakfast on the table for Farmer Brown at 7 o'clock in the morning. Where do I need to move my hour hand? You're right. I need to move my hour hand to the 7. 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. How would we write that? Seven dot o'clock. Great job. And then Mrs. Brown, she made the bed at 9 o'clock. Do you make your bed at home? How do we show 9 o'clock? Where do I need to move my hour hand? You're right, to the 9. 9 o'clock. Will you write it with me? Nine o'clock. And then Farmer Brown had to clean his tractor at 11 o'clock. Where would I need to move my hour hand now? You're right. All the way to the 11. 11 o'clock. Let's write that. And then Farmer and Mrs. Brown, they had to eat lunch just like all of us at 12 o'clock. So where do I put my hour hand now? You're right. It hides underneath the minute clock. It's underneath. 12 o'clock. Looks kind of silly, doesn't it? Let's write that down. 12 o'clock. And then Mrs. Brown, after lunch, she took some lemonade to Farmer Brown at 4 o'clock. How would I change it to 4 o'clock? You're right, I have to move the hour hand. 4 o'clock. Let's write that. And then Farmer Brown and Mrs. Brown had dinner at 6 o'clock. Do you think you could change my clock for me? I have to move the hour hand to 6. Ooh, that looks kind of silly, doesn't it? 6 o'clock. Say 6 o'clock. Great job. Great job, kindergarten. You're telling time. Give yourself a pat on the back. All right, now for our next activity, I need you to take out your packet and I need you to find the page with clocks on. Can you do that for me? Okay, go ahead. So now it says, let's read the directions first. It says circle the correct time. Now let's look at that clock. Remember, we have our hour hand and our minute hand. Which one can reach all the way to the minutes? You're right, the minute hand. The longer one is the minute hand. And the shorter one is the hour hand. Great job. So we're going to look at the hour hand to know which time it is. So let's look at the first clock. It might look like this on your paper. What time is it? You're right. It's 7 o'clock. So go ahead and circle 7 o'clock on your paper. Let's do the next one. The hour hand is pointing to what number? The 2. Yes, it's pointing at 2. It looks like this. So what time is it? You're right, it's 2 o'clock. Great job. Circle 2 o'clock. It looks like this. Now the next one is pointing to which number? It should look like this. It's pointing to the 9, the hour hand. So what time do you think it is? It's 9 o'clock. Great job. Circle 9 o'clock. What time is it next in the blue clock? It's pointing to the 11. So it's 11 o'clock. Great job. Circle 11 o'clock. It looks like this. What time do you think this says? You're right. It's 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. Circle 4 o'clock on your homework. Last one. What time is it? Six o'clock. You're right. Circle 6 o'clock on your paper. Now, for the next portion, it says, draw the hour hand to show the time. Let's read the story. It says, Mrs. Brown feeds the chickens at 8 o'clock. See the picture of her feeding the chickens? Now, where do you have to draw your hour hand to show 8 o'clock? I'll write that on the board. o'clock. Where will we put our hour hand? I'm going to do it on my clock, and then you draw on your paper, and I'll show you. Okay, ready? Show me your answer. 3, 2, 1. 8 o'clock. Great job. The next one, do you see Cheddar the mouse? Cheddar eats a snack at 3 o'clock. Where do we draw our hand for 3 o'clock? I'll do it on my clock and you write it on your homework. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Great job, kindergarten. I'm so proud of you. All right, now for the last part, do you see the part with the flowers on the bottom? Okay, and it says follow your teacher's directions. So I'm going to give you very exciting directions. Ready? Color the flower with the number 16 red. So take your red crayon and color the number 16 red. Go ahead and do that now. Now, color the flower with the number 20 green. So take your green crayon and color the number 20 green. If I'm going too fast, you can pause the video. Okay, the next one. Color the flower with the number 11 blue. Color the flower with the number 18 yellow. And now, last one, color the flower with the number 19 orange. All right, great job, kindergarten. You did amazing today. I can't wait to see you next time. Bye.